is fun.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Destination Sweet Eats. For this destination, we're taking it way back to the pre-pandemic days, to the vacation destination of my dreams, Japan. I've been to Japan before in high school, which in itself was an amazing trip. But this was by far the best vacation I'd ever been on. It was a wild ride filled with so much exhilarating eye candy at every turn. It was enough for me to just stand there in the middle of it all and just take it in. Look at the size of this. We crammed so many places into this trip, but for some reason, we were never once tired. We wanted to keep going and going. The kids had the best time, especially at those playgrounds where they have the most amazing slides you've ever seen. I wish we had something like this back at home. It's just unmatched. And the attention to detail they put into all the tourist spots, even the Ghibli Museum, was just amazing. There's just so many interesting things to do in Japan that no matter how many times you go, you're always going to do or see something new. But even with all that, what stopped us in our tracks was the food. You hear about the food, but you really have to experience it for yourself to understand how impressive it really is. The quality, taste, as well as the colors, which pictures and video just really can't capture. The presentation and the experience of it all makes you want to eat everything, even though you're too stuffed to eat anymore. Those 3 weeks flew by so quickly, and at the end of it, I was heartbroken and literally crying because I didn't want to go home. And I also had a feeling that it would be a long time before we could come back again. Chris and I made a promise to each other that we would come back every year to Japan to experience this once again with the family or by ourselves. But then the unthinkable happened and the pandemic hit. Our dreams of exploring Japan faded away and left us with an emptiness really no other destination seemed to fill. Watching these clips kind of makes me emotional and I want to cry again, but no, I won't cry. We created so many happy memories and experiences on this trip with our family, which means so much to me. So when we miss that feeling of being in Japan, we're lucky to be from Hawaii, where the culture as well as the food culture is heavily influenced by the Japanese. It's not exactly the same, but close enough to give us that little hit of Japan that we miss so much. So today was one of those days and we decided to hit up Fujiyama, Texas, which we heard recently started a Japanese breakfast service. Normally they only open at night, so this was our first time here. The food was so tasty and made me feel like we were back in Japan, even for a little bit. The food was light, healthy, and filling all at the same time. I would definitely come back here again for breakfast, especially to eat those little musubis. Oh my god, they were so tasty. This made you feel so good after you ate it. After breakfast, we still felt like exploring a little bit, so we headed off to Don Quixote. Just walking around this place with all the signs and the noise and the Japanese products makes it feel like you're in a Japan Don Quixote. Not to mention the song, the donkey song playing in the background. We don't come to Don Quixote very often because I tend to buy way too many things. There's always something cool to see, but what gets us both excited when we come here is, of course, the food. I get excited when I walk by the natto case, and natto is fermented soybeans. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but I love it. So I like to try all the different ones, even though they're probably all the same thing. We picked up a few things from the outside food vendors, as well as some from inside to take home with us. Which is why our little trip down memory lane to Japan cost us a whopping $235. That doesn't even include the outside food. That's just the stuff from the grocery store. Hi. So we just left Don Quixote and we bought a bunch of food, and we're gonna try out the Wagyu Kushi first. It's leaking, but it's the Wagyu beef skewers. It smells so good. Let me just pull it out of the bag. We're sitting in the car because there was no chairs out there and it was really hot. So we came back to sit in the car. Okay, so we just got 2 skewers, one for each of us. Ah, look. Yeah, it comes with more sauce. They like douse it with sauce as they're cooking it, but they also give you extra sauce. So we're just gonna give this a try. Mmm. Oh my god, that is so good. It's very moist, but a little chewy. I think they could have did it a little more rare. Would have been good, but we got 1 skewer each, but I think 1 skewer would have been enough for the both of us. It's kind of rich, that's why. It's good, right? Here, you can hold on to that because I can just pull out this second skewer. Look at that. Oh my gosh. It's like they roll the beef and then they just put it on
steak. Steak on a stick. So thinly sliced.
It's good, but not as tender as I remember it being in Japan. We had some Wagyu steak when I went over to my sister's house. It was so good and tender, but this is really good. It's $7. Was it $7 for a skewer, or you can get 2 for $10. Something like that, but it's a pretty good deal because this is a lot of meat. So good. Just wish it was a little more tender. Just eating the food like this again makes me miss Japan so much. The last time we were there, we were only there for like 3 weeks. It was almost 3 weeks, right? And I feel like it wasn't long enough.
We were there through Christmas and New Year's.
And look at all that juice. We didn't even need the sauce, whatever that sauce was, because it was saucy enough. It was very good.
All over my shirt.
I know, it's all over everywhere. We should have eaten this outside. This is more messier than I thought it would be. Okay, on to the next thing we got. Now, every time we were in Shirikia, when they were still Shirikia, they would always be banging the drum and making takoyaki. I love takoyaki. It's just basically a doughy ball with a piece of taco or octopus in the middle. And I like it with the negi ponzu sauce and mayo. So good. Okay, I'm gonna get one of these. And normally they're super piping hot, so you gotta wait for it to cool off, but it's been sitting for a bit, so should be cool enough to eat. So good. I miss this flavor of takoyaki. You can see the octopus in the middle right there. So good. Every time we miss Japan, we always walk through Don Quixote just to kind of feel like we're in Japan, even though we're not. And we end up buying way more things than we actually need, especially food items.
I haven't eaten in a long time.
I think the last time we ate takoyaki was when we were in Japan. And the last thing we got this fruit sandwich. I don't know what they call it in Japan, but I just love it because it's so nice and refreshing, and it has like all the whipped cream, and the mikan or the orange in the middle is my favorite, along with the strawberry. In Hawaii, they make the cream a little bit sweeter here versus Japan. It's more like a more delicate flavor, I guess you would say. I don't know. That's from what I remember, because I've had this one before and it was really sweet. So just some fluffy white bread with some whipped cream and fruit. It's just like perfect. I remember getting this when we got on the train, and then I held on to it till we got to our destination, and the kids were always like wanting us to snack. So when I pulled this out, they were like fighting over it because they really liked it. I don't blame them. It's really good. Oh, one thing about the orange, it pops out in the center. It's kind of hard to eat.
All right, I ate my share.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I guess I gotta eat my share. So we're gonna be going to Japan in a few months. We promised each other that we would share everything. We wouldn't get one of each of anything. We would just get one of whatever it is and share it because we want to be able to eat. We want to be able to eat as much as we can because we were looking at all the places we wanted to go to when we went there, and most of it is just we just want to walk around and experience the areas and eat. We're gonna try to stay as hungry as possible when we're there. I think if we had eaten this right when we got it, it would have been better. But because it has had a chance to cool off a little and it's not as hot, I don't know, it just doesn't taste as wow. But then again, the last time we did eat takoyaki was in Japan, so it's kind of hard to compare.
It was cold, so that hot was like,
Oh yeah, the hot with the cold weather.
yeah.
It's still good though, I like it. Not as good as Japan. Okay. Oh,
I ate my share.
he saved me half an orange. How sweet. Okay. So when you come to Hawaii and you want some close to authentic Japanese food, gotta hit up Don Quixote for all your grocery needs, as well as the little takeout food section in the front, and also their hot food section in the back. It's one of the highlights of our trips when we go here. So anyway, bye.